Welcome, everyone. Today we are going to do a reading where we are speaking with our guides and just asking is there anything that we need to know right now? Anything going on that we should be aware of? I feel like, I don't know why, I feel like there's a lot of people who are down right now. The holiday season is upon us, and, you know, unfortunately, Christmas is not what it's meant to be any longer. It's all about presents. So I know many are very stressed out about that. I just feel like I carry the stress of the world with me, and I'm learning to let it go. You know what I mean? But I feel like part of it is through the reading. So I'm asking our guides to come through. This is for all signs, for any messages that can just really bring us peace of comfort, peace of mind, and just whatever it is we need to hear. So, all signs again, doesn't matter. Doesn't even matter when you see it. I feel like this is that type of reading where it'll find you at the perfect time, or you find it at the perfect time. It's just divine timing. Let's just put it that way. So let's go ahead and get into the reading. I'm going to use 4 different decks here. I'm going to use the Gilded Tarot to do any clarifying with the Queen of Pentacles and the Hierophant that didn't want to come up. Queen of Pentacles, well, the Hierophant could certainly talk about Taurus. Um, Queen of Pentacles is someone who can really see those details that other people miss. So this may be giving us a clue of what this reading is about, like the details that we're missing, the signs that we're not seeing for whatever reason. And then the Hierophant attached to that, I feel like that is of the light. It says keep your faith. Um, hope, all that. Keep all that alive. So we'll put that back on top. We're not going to take them right now, but I don't feel like there's ever any accidents in my readings. I feel like whatever is meant to be shown will be shown. I decided to use the Universal Tarot for the main spread. I just love the messages it's been bringing out, and I know a lot of you have too. So I thought, yeah, we definitely got to use that deck. We're going to use Mother Mary for our words of wisdom, and another deck I brought in that I don't use often. I don't know why. Is Archangel Raphael. But something was telling me to pull Archangel Raphael into this reading, so that's exactly what I'm doing. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this reading. Let's start with Mother Mary, and let's get our words of wisdom. Again, all signs. You know what I want to say to you? This is that type of reading where I really want you to try to pay attention to your intuition. Like, don't overthink something. If something feels right or you get like angel goosebumps, um, then take it for what it is. All right, let's give him a cut. By the way, everything's always pre-shuffled before I begin, but I like to give it a couple shuffles with you here. So, okay, well, that didn't take long. We have marriage. Marriage. I make a commitment to a healthy relationship with God, myself, and my partner. Marriage. So, my partner doesn't have to mean you're married to someone. And this also speaks to those who aren't married. We'll read it from the book at the end, but I already know it does speak to that. And it does tell you to get ready for um, the potential of what's coming your way. All right, let's bring in Archangel Raphael. Archangel Raphael deals a lot with our health, our well-being, that type of energy. So, because I feel the stress of the world, I felt like, you know, Archangel Raphael needs to be part of this reading. So, let's go ahead and okay. We got quite a few, but I am going to take them. I'm probably not going to read them all at the end, but I do want to take them. So first we have acceptance. Acceptance. Dear God and Archangel Raphael, please help me accept that everything is going in the right direction. That's a good prayer to have. Please help me accept that everything is going in the right direction, even when it feels like it's not. We have diet is important here. I have a feeling it's talking to me. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for guiding me to make positive eating and drinking choices and for reducing and eliminating my craving for unhelpful substances. Diet is important here. You know, it's so true. What we put in our body is going to show in some way. Caffeine free. I don't know, Archangel Raphael. Dear Archangel Raphael, I ask that you cut my cords of attachment to caffeine so that I may honor my body's natural energy rhythms without chemicals. Caffeine. And then last but not least, ask your body for a message. Ask your body for a message. Dear body, please help me hear your messages. Archangel Raphael, please guide me in honoring and respecting my body's needs. So, acceptance, diet is important, caffeine free, and asking your body for messages. Your body will definitely tell you. Like when we get often we get like the nine of swords and that I feel like if that's the type of energy, if it's not dealt with, looked at, understood, then it's going to show itself through our body. It's going to show itself through like sleepless nights, anxiety, depression. But I feel like this is saying that we have a lot of control over that. It's interesting. I got this in someone's reading where it said meditation instead of medication. Meditation instead of medication. Now, I'm not telling anybody to go off your medication, but I just felt that message so clearly, like meditation or just the clearing of the mind. Some people are afraid of meditation, thinking, I can't clear my mind. I know that energy. I'm a Virgo. Very hard for me to clear my mind. Well, meditation's not really about that. It's just taking that moment, closing your eyes and just allowing yourself to be in a state of peace. I actually did a meditation. I'm going to do more. It was kind of a practice meditation. I wanted to see how you guys liked it. So, you know what? I'll connect it at the end of the video. You tell me. And I'm just learning. Like, I already know what I want to say, but I feel like, I had to learn. I had the music up a little higher than my voice. But other than that, yeah, it's definitely something I'm going to add to this channel. Is many more different types of meditation. But again, meditation instead of medication. Now, again, don't go off your medication, but meditation may help you to start eliminating some medication. That can only be good. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into the main spread, which we again are using the Universal Tarot. Give it a couple shuffles. All right, let's give them a cut. Happy Monday, by the way. Happy November. Getting dark at 5 o'clock. That's not good. We have the Hermit. Hermit's in reverse, though. Interesting. Card of Virgo. Um, I feel like what that's saying is some are not done reflecting on the last chapter. There may be more. Look at this, the Three of Swords. So there you go. Three of Swords, heartache. Um, this is not what I'm predicting. This has already happened, but I do feel like some of you are still in that state. It's interesting because this person is lying face up, so it's almost like I know I'm going to get my heart broken, or I knew I was going to get my heart broken. But then with the hermit in reverse, I feel like, but am I listening to my spiritual wisdom? Am I listening to my intuition, that first instinct, or am I moving beyond that? Trying to use my human mind. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but your intuition is a gift from God and it is meant to be used as your GPS in this lifetime. So, this can just talk about someone who is going through that type of energy right now, which makes complete sense to me because that's what I'm feeling. Like, I'm feeling like I'm trying to find my spirituality. I'm trying to find the answers. I'm trying to figure out why this heartache, has happened or even maybe continues to happen. Ultimately, the hermit will find those answers. And ultimately, the hermit, I feel like, let's say this is like the Dark Night of the Soul with the Three of Swords next to it. Like someone sent me into that Dark Night of the Soul. Well, what I'm really looking for is a light, the light. And what the hermit ultimately learns in this energy, in this reflection, because remember, it's a nine, and nine speaks about reflection, but it's the final reflection. All of a sudden, the sirens are going off. Interesting. But what the hermit really learns is that I am the light. I am my own savior. Yes, God is your savior. However, the power that you have in this lifetime, it's like all of a sudden I'm thinking about like our brain and how we only use like what, 25%, if that. Um, and how can we connect to the rest of it? All right, let's keep going. But I feel like in this Three of Swords, at least the last sword, I feel like I had to have seen it coming. Because I'm looking right at it. Look at that, the Ten of Swords. I have a feeling for some of you, this could talk about a repeat pattern, maybe with one particular person, or maybe many people. And if that's the case, then what you want to look at is yourself. And I don't mean that in let me bring this lid down. I don't mean that in a judgmental way. I just mean as in because both of these people are face up. Both of these people are seeing these swords, yet they're taking them. Why? Well, because the hermit's in reverse. Because the hermit's in the dark. But not really. Not really, because I feel like the hermit is your spirituality. And I feel like also like some of the signs some of us are missing and it just keeps resulting in heartache. Ten of Swords, I feel like if you came here with a question like, someone is disrespecting you, if someone has like horrible communication towards you, if someone has broken your heart over and over again and you're questioning whether to give them another chance, to me, now use your free will, but to me, it looks like it's just going to happen again. It's just going to happen again. So we've got to be able to flip this hermit over somehow. Let's keep going. Sometimes we just don't want to realize the truth, but the truth shall set us free at the same time. You know what I mean? Like if I'm giving someone so much of my energy, but yet they just keep stabbing me, well, not even in the back, right in the front here, right in my heart, my mind, my soul, my spirit. You know what I mean? They're affecting me. I've got to break that pattern. All right, we have the moon, part of Cancer. Or I'm sorry, part of Pisces, ruler of Cancer. Interesting because the moon and the hermit, with the hermit being reversed, it's almost like, I can't see. I can't see. It's like I can't see any further than the moonlight will let me see. And that is a fear factor for some. I feel like for some of you, 2023 is at least this time period, let's just say the end, the last quarter of 2023. I feel like it is about the final reflection because let's not forget next year is a universal year 8, and that does speak of new beginnings. And, in those new beginnings, you can really, I often feel like an 8 makes me feel like a kid again, reminds me of the sun. Um, 8 is a number of infinity, so, know that you're not alone. As above, so below. It's like heaven on earth. I just got to find it. Well, I say I got to find it like it's out there, but really it's within us. Okay, let's keep going. I do want to say we do have Virgo on one corner, and then we have Pisces on the other corner, mirroring each other. All right, holy cow. No wonder I'm doing this reading. 10 of Wands. And then, Two Swords. Blindfold. This is difficult. I say it's difficult because there's so many swords. And then the wands that we have are of the 10 of Wands. Look at this person. It's like this person is trying to push these wands, you know, up a hill. And I often feel the person in the Ten of Wands is like asking, or, secretly, or maybe not secretly, but subconsciously seeking a tower, like, help me to end this cycle. Again, I feel like there's just something you're not seeing. Because then there's the Two of Swords under the Three of Swords, where you're seeing those swords. So it's clear. It's very clear, those three swords and the Ten of Swords. Like you're seeing them. But in the Two Swords, this may be where I wear my blindfold and, I don't want to face the truth. However, my God, look at the heaviness so far. I have a feeling it's going to get lighter. When? Well, first of all, I feel like when the blindfold comes off, when I'm really honest with myself, um, you know, and I stop ignoring the signs because I feel like your guides or our guides are saying that we are constantly sending you signs, but you're not seeing them, you're not following them. It's like I want something to work out, but I don't see how it can in this energy. I just don't understand how it could. So the Ten of Wands, it's like, I've had enough. I've had enough. Interesting that in the Two Swords, you see the moon there. And it's could certainly talk about moon cycles also, because we have the full moon here, and we have the quarter moon here, or what do they call that? A waning moon, I think. Um, I feel like some of you just trying to make a decision right now on whether to stay or go, and whether that be a person, a place, a thing, a job, somewhere you have not been treated well. And somewhere it feels like a lot or the majority of the responsibility had been put upon your shoulders. You know, everything here feels like change is a necessity. Now, why wouldn't I change that? Because change is hard, even if it's good change. If this is speaking of love, I feel like, listen, sometimes, we fall in love, but sometimes I hate to say we fall in love with the wrong person, because I feel like everyone can help teach us as we can help teach them. But this person throwing all these swords at you, first of all, I feel like communication must be horrible. Or even if there is communication, I feel like if there's a lack of communication, be real with yourself. That may be your answer. Like if someone's ghosting you and it's not the first time, just be real with yourself. Is that what you want your life to look like? Again, we're entering into a new cycle very soon. And that's for all of us. A universal year 8 is for everyone. And I'm looking forward to it. Also 8 is about, can certainly speak about your material world. And I don't know how I could be truly successful in my material world with all these swords and then all these wands. But these wands are wands of responsibility, heavy responsibility. There's just something you don't want to see. Or let me put it a different way. I feel like you have to have seen it. You have to have felt it. I know you felt it. But maybe you don't want to come to that realization that someone is not going to be who you want them to be. Maybe they're not capable of being who it is you deserve. All right, let's keep going. I knew there was a reason why I was doing this reading. And I knew it wasn't just me feeling all this energy. We have the Six of Cups. Six of Cups almost doesn't fit here because Six of Cups really talks about happy memories. Now, it could be asking you to, instead of thinking about the hardships in your life, think about the good times in your life. What were you doing? Who were you with? What was different? Six of Cups can certainly speak of someone of the past, but if this is someone of the past, I feel like, um, or I just feel like they hurt you. We have the Page of Swords. Page of Swords, under the moon, mirrored by the Ten of Wands. I definitely feel like some of you have been ghosted. And listen, they could certainly reach out, right? And maybe they do reach out. But I feel like the pattern is not just like you accepting it, like accepting them back. I feel like the pattern belongs to them also. And what I mean by that is like if this is someone who just goes silent, let's say, um, or puts all the responsibility of a relationship or a work on your shoulders. Do I think there will be a change? Well, there could be communication, but I feel like the same thing will happen again. I hate to say that, but that's what I feel. And I'm not going to argue with my guides. All right, with the Page of Cups, we have the Sun. Excuse me. Beautiful. I love seeing the sun right now. Ruler of Leo, by the way. We have the sun and we have the moon. Interesting because the sun's going to illuminate all these swords for you. Like, there's no doubt when the sun comes, even if I don't want to face a fact, I have to face it because the sun's going to illuminate it, good and the bad. But the sun also gives you an opportunity to start a brand new day, a brand new cycle. All right, let's see what else we have. We have the Eight of Pentacles. Well, there's our eight. And let's see if we can get one more card out. Thank you. Four of Wands, the marriage card. On the bottom of the deck, we have the Seven of Cups. Trying to make a decision over a cup, Queen of Swords underneath that. It's interesting because here we have a seven, here we have an eight. It's like this is the universal year seven. This is, like we're running out of time for you to make some decisions, to take some blindfolds off, to, live the type of life that you really want instead of living someone else's life and letting someone else determine, what you're going to do in your life. But I feel because of the lack of their energy, it's like, I feel like, how do I say this? I feel like because I've given someone so much control, um, that it has, I feel like I've given someone so much control over my life that has affected my blessings, let's say, or how my life could really look. I feel like there's no way that you could really be happy in this energy. Now, I'm not saying you can't be happy, but I do feel like, whoever is putting those swords in you, who's ever breaking your heart, who's ever saying, listen, if this is someone saying, oh, I'm going to change, and this is not the first time they said that, take that, like, hear that, understand that, like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I want someone who puts action behind their words. And by the way, I feel like the words are like very hurtful also. Page of Cups down here. This is your inner child. And I do feel like it needs healing. There's nothing wrong with putting yourself first. And I don't mean that in an egotistical way, but you should love yourself enough where if you see or that you're in this pattern where someone just keeps, I just feel like beating you up, just putting you down, taking advantage of you, taking advantage of your kindness. I felt like it's time to switch out of that energy and say no more, no more. Because the Page of Cups, it is your inner child, but it's also, and I feel like it's healing for the inner child. But I also feel like, the inner child really lives from a standpoint of freedom. Even if the inner child is, or, let's think about a child. I think of this often, like when I was a child, I thought and I left the house on my bike, I thought I had so much freedom. I really didn't, right? My parents ultimately would, tell me what I could or couldn't do. But when I left the house and I got on my bike, it was a true sense of freedom. And that's what I feel in this. And then we have the Four of Wands. How interesting, because Mother Mary has the marriage card. Now, do I feel like if this is a marriage here, that it can be saved? I'm never going to say something cannot be saved because if both people can have true realization of what's happening and what's not happening. If two people truly want it to work, then I feel like it can work. But, however, it almost feels impossible. But I'm not going to say it's impossible. It just feels that way. Now let's come down to the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles, first of all, if this is relating to like work, let's say, it doesn't even have to be related to work. I feel like our creative house is our saving grace. That's just how I feel. I feel like when we can move, or, or refocusing our attention. Like, I've had enough of focusing on the swords, right? I've taken enough swords. Now I know better. So, this is about starting something new. Because it's next to the Four of Wands, which again is the commitment card, let's say, it says that if one is willing to put their focus upon it, then they will have success. But this doesn't take just one person, this takes two people. Now, how I'm looking at it is I feel like our creative house, because when you're doing something creative, and whether it be for you, like what you do for a living, or you decide to paint your living room, I feel like it changes your focus. And when you change your focus, I kind of feel like it changes your life. Some of you could have been married to someone, or maybe you still are. Um, and maybe you are making a decision right now. And I'm saying married, but it could just be a committed relationship, or at least that's what I thought. But I feel like, you're definitely in a decision mode. Seven of Cups tells me that. The Two of Swords tells me that. You're in a decision mode. Two of Swords says, though, take up the blindfold and be real with yourself as it relates to the decision. The sun below it is going to illuminate anything you need illumination on. Or another way we could say that is your guides are going to send you signs. Like you may question, like, should I give this person another chance? I feel like your guides are going to be very clear with you. But then you have to, follow through. They can't make you. You have free will. And that's just that. Okay. Let's bring in the Gilded Tarot. And my hope is it lifts this reading up. But the reason why I'm doing this reading is because I'm feeling the stresses of the world. I'm feeling, for some reason, anxious today, and I have no reason to be. So I felt that's why I really felt like I needed to do this reading. Not that I question him, but I want you to know why I choose to do certain readings at certain times. It's not just random. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what should I do today? No, I really spend a moment and I allow myself to feel like what I feel you need. And this is what I felt. All right, let's go ahead and begin. Using the Gilded Tarot. I don't know if I said that. We're going to start at the beginning, but we're reading it as a whole. So we're going to look at the Hermit. Some of you could be a Virgo who, for whatever the reason, um, just seems like they're too much. Some of you could certainly be a Pisces or a Cancer. Doesn't have to be any of those. But I just want to give you the people that are on the board so far. I feel like the Hermit's in reverse because for some reason I'm not paying attention to my spiritual clarity, even though it's available to me. We have the Page of Wands. Two pages mirroring each other right now. You know what I feel like Page of Wands for some of you is? It's a free will decision you made. I feel like, sometimes we get in a relationship and we think, oh, well, they're a soulmate or they're a twin flame, and I've got to make this work. But I feel like this is saying, no, this was a free will decision. This was a free will choice. For some of you, it could be even a karmic relationship. And, don't dismiss that because if it's a karmic relationship and you're meant to learn what the karma, and you do, it's cleared forever. It's cleared for eternity. Page of Wands takes chances. They don't all work out. But the Page of Wands gets back up again. All right, we have the Five of Swords. Well, I'm not surprised. Right over the Three of Swords, toxicity. And then look at this, the Justice card. Interesting, because Mother Mary gives us the marriage card. We have the marriage card right here. And again, it doesn't have to mean marriage. It just feels like a commitment. But man, there's nothing that feels good about this commitment. I'm just being honest. So, you know, cutting ties may be the answer. Again, I'm not telling you to. It just feels like it may give you a new beginning. Because justice is being mirrored by the eight down here. And I feel like, cutting of certain ties opens up that freedom, that feeling of freedom. I feel like for some of you, you've been in this pattern for such a long time that you just don't realize what potentially you're missing. Someone is being toxic. No doubt. Someone, I feel, is not going to change. Doesn't mean it's impossible. But should you wait around and see if they're going to change? I would say no. I would say do your thing. And if they want to change, then they can do that on their own. Because I feel like you've given enough time. So I do feel like this means cutting the ties. Justice is the card of Libra, by the way. But it's about balance. It's about having balance. There's no way there's balance here. There's anything but balance. So justice is about making you whole again. Well, how can I be whole again? I feel like there is only one answer to this question, and that is the cutting of the ties. Again, it doesn't always mean it has to be forever, but there is someone who definitely needs to grow up, who needs to mature, who needs to work on their communication, who needs to stop being so selfish. I could go on and on and on how I feel about this person. The Five of Swords, it's a five, and five speaks of change. That's why I love numerology, because it gives you a clue as to, especially in tarot, like, okay, well, what is the Five of Swords telling me? Well, first of all, it's telling you that you're around some type of toxic energy. No other way of putting it. Toxic energy. But a five says it would serve you to change that. Well, how can I change that? I feel like the only way I can change that is by cutting ties. I feel like don't beat yourself up. Because again, for some of you, I feel like it was just a free will decision. And listen, I feel like even free will decisions, our guides will, like, they'll recalculate and they'll still send you the signs. All right, let's keep going. There's that Nine of Swords I was talking about. Fear. And then the Three of Pentacles over the Ten of Wands. Okay. Holy swords. We have all the swords out that really carry a negative or difficult energy, let's say. Five of Swords is telling you there's someone toxic around you. Three of Swords is telling you that is telling me that someone broke your heart. Ten of Swords is telling me that it's just going to happen again. It's a repeat pattern. Listen, I don't feel like I shouldn't say it that way, because I feel like this is something you would already know. Because again, you're the one who's in decision mode. So It's like you're having some of these realizations, but maybe you, again, you're not seeing everything yet, right? I can't see the light yet. I can't see the light of making these changes or even how to make these changes. Well, that's why you're here. That's what your guides want to help you with. And it begins with the cutting of the ties. Again, you don't have to tell yourself, okay, I'm cutting ties for eternity. But for some of you, that you should tell yourself that. But if you need to tell yourself, like, hey, maybe this person eventually will come around and, admit their ways or what have you. Listen, I think all things are possible. So I'm not going to rule that out, but what I am ruling out is you waiting around to find out. I feel like you've been waiting around. Nine of Swords is a lot of worry. Why? Because of uncertainty. The uncertainty is, I feel like for some of you, driving you a little crazy. Now, the Nine of Swords really is the message of the Nine of Swords is unnecessary worry. But if I don't understand that, like what would the worry be over whether the cutting the ties is the right thing to do? And then the Nine of Swords says unnecessary worry. I feel like this is something that must have been on your mind for quite a while because I feel like sleepless nights. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's something like a broken record that plays over and over in your head. Yet at the same time, your guides they're really trying to reach you. Okay, let's come down here. We have the Three of Pentacles. So, the Three of Pentacles, one of my favorite cards because it really talks about your uniqueness. And knowing that you're unique to the world, no matter what anybody else tells you. You definitely don't want to be listening to this person who keeps putting swords in your back, who's coming from toxic energy, right? They're not seeing your unique soul. That's why I don't feel like this is a soulmate type of energy. I feel like it's either free will. If it's a relationship, it's either free will or it is karmic. Now, if it's work, same thing. Someone's not appreciating what it is you bring to the table. They're not appreciating your uniqueness, though there are people who do. And that's really what the Three of Pentacles talks about. It's like learning to come from your unique soul, being proud of that. And other people, and I often feel these are people that I don't even notice, or I don't even notice that they're noticing me, because they are. And what are they noticing? They're noticing your uniqueness. This person's taking advantage of you. All right, let's keep going. I guess they can't all be beautiful love readings, right? Because that wouldn't be life. Now, I'm not saying there can't be beautiful love to be had, or if it's work, that, there's not some, first of all, if it has anything to do with your work, I love the Three of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles together because I really feel like it talks about real potential success. But I feel like even whoever this is has even taken that away from you. You got to reclaim your power. You got to put yourself first. Strength card. I feel like it's really the perfect card to come out right now. First of all, Cardelia. It is an 8. So, interesting because the strength card normally speaks about our own inner demons and finding that balance within ourselves, the light and the dark. And coming to balance. You have two cards that really speak about you coming to balance. I feel like for some of you, like, what is your Achilles heel? It's a person. It has become a person. And maybe you invested so much time that it's hard to stop investing. But I feel like it's time to put your investments in another portfolio. Yeah, definitely feels like the energy of like someone who is like a narcissist or what have you. We have the Queen of Wands in reverse. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, sitting right next to Leo. Doesn't have to be any of that though. Queen of Wands to me is the queen of action. She's a queen who moves according to her desires and her passions. But she's in reverse. Dang it. Interesting because I feel like the page over here is also the queen. And again, don't forget about the signs. Like, you don't have to be a fire sign for this to be you. It just means you're in the energy of non-action right now. It means that you're not following your own passions. It's almost like you're living someone else's life. Like, how did I get here? Well, I feel like because I took a chance. Not all chances work out. And sometimes I feel like we just have to say, it's that simple. And we need to forgive ourselves for even getting stuck in this web. And I feel like, this web, I feel was crafted by someone who is very good with crafting nets. I mean, I'm thinking like a spider web where I get caught in their web. All right, let's keep going. So this queen says, at this moment, there's no action. The sun again. Listen, I feel like, let's say this is someone who just cut off communication. And then they decide, and by the way, coming over the page of swords, yes, it can talk about someone's younger energy. It can talk about energy that's, I often feel, in the atmosphere right now. But let's say this is about someone who's going to contact you, and let's say it's this person. This person has already broken your heart quite a few times. This person is carrying toxic energy, not only with them, but then you become part of that. So let's say your phone rings and it's them again. Well, now the sun is right over them. So whatever words they speak, if they're not the truth, you're going to know that. You're going to feel that. And that's another reason why I feel like I did this reading. So that you can understand the power that you have, right? Again, it feels like someone sucked up your power, but you can regain it. They don't own you. They don't own your power. I shouldn't say like they took your power. You've given your power to them. So, anyways, I feel like, if I'm getting a call from someone who has treated me like shit, and I don't know any other way of putting it, the truth will be clear. The truth will be clear. Now, let's say this is communication from someone who isn't a narcissist, who is someone who is loving. That also will be clear. The lovers. Over the page of cups. I feel like there's a few of you who feel like, like I said earlier, where you feel like you were in a relationship, or it doesn't even have to be a relationship. Like maybe that's where you wanted to go, or that's where It was promised to go, but, for whatever the reasons, which are the swords, those are the reasons, it didn't go there. I have a feeling for some of you, you gave someone the wrong title. And I get this a lot in readings. Like, I thought this was a soulmate. So, because I thought it was a soulmate, I thought it would just naturally, eventually work out. Or I thought it was a twin flame. And because it's a twin flame, I thought naturally that I have to make this work. But I feel like none of that is true. And by the way, if this, I don't feel like it's a soulmate, but let's say it's a twin flame, because the twin flame relationship, by the way, I just did a twin flame reading. And I did both the divine masculine and the feminine. I'll connect that at the end of the reading too. Very interesting reading. One of my favorites, I have to say. But anyways, I feel like it's the same thing. A lot of people say the runner and the chaser. Well, I don't have to take it, right? I don't have to like just sit there and take their bullshit. If you want me, then you come to me free and clear. You come to me with love, or don't come to me at all. The lovers is a head over heart decision. And I do feel like that's a part of it. The lovers is now mirrored by the Four of Wands. See what else we have. The High Priestess. Over the Sun. We're changing now. Can you feel that? I feel the energy changing. I feel it's starting to lift and lighten. Why? Because I feel like for some of you, you're having true realization within this reading, within your guides. And I feel like things are now starting to lift. Your intuition is everything here. Because if you don't pay attention to your intuition, then I'm afraid that you may be doomed to repeat the same old bullshit. But the High Priestess is coming over the Sun. So I feel like the signs, your gut, it's going to be very, very clear. Doesn't mean you can't overthink it. All right, let's keep going. If I almost want to give this like an emergency reading type or title, because I feel like it's like this is important. All right, we have the Seven of Cups. So, choosing a cup next to the High Priestess, your intuition, and then we have the Eight of Cups again. I'm sorry, the Eight of Pentacles. All right, there's a couple things I want to look at. Okay, I'm seeing this reading in two ways. I'm seeing it, one, I want to say a love reading, but I don't feel like there's a lot of love here. And on the other, I feel like it's talking about your creative house or what you do for a living, or what you want to do for a living. I feel like it's speaking about like if there's something that you really want to do it, right? Because it's saying make a true commitment to it. Make a true commitment to yourself, and the rest will follow. All right. I want to come back and I want to look at this a lot at the lovers because this is what I'm feeling about the lovers. I'm feeling this is two different people. I'm feeling that on one hand, I gave someone a title. They don't fit that title. Quite the opposite. But on the other hand, I feel now this is potentially talking about the real title, the real person. It's making me think of an Eminem song with What's that with a real Slim Shady, please stand up. Please stand up. So I'm going to look at the lovers a little bit more. Especially because it's got the sun before it and the sun after it. Look at this. It flipped the hermit around. That was the first thing I asked for. Like, we've got to flip this hermit around. Here it is, flipped around. This is your spiritual love. This is your spiritual love. The hermit's illuminating, well, he's illuminating the snake. This is what I love about this image is because the hermit, first of all, in reverse here, gone through a dark night of the soul, no doubt. But this is coming out of that. This is having all the realization I need to have. This is taking all those blindfolds off. This is trusting within my spiritual being and my spiritual guides. This is you carrying the beacon of light, and this is you illuminating what's in front of you. It's like, it doesn't even matter if it's like just the moon energy. If I can only see by the moonlight, doesn't matter because the lantern will light up any snakes in the grass, so to speak. But I often feel that when you go through something this difficult, your lessons become your words of wisdom to others. But I want to follow that a little bit more. Look at this, the Knight of Pentacles. I knew this reading was going to lighten up. I just knew it. Knight of Pentacles, your guardian angel. Knight of Pentacles, what it feels like to me, because now the Hermit's in the upright, where here is in reverse, and what followed in reverse, all those swords, those 10 wands, all that heaviness, the Queen in non-action, all of that. Now, and again, I feel like what's one of the what's one how do I say this? What's one of the things that's helped me come to this conclusion? My intuition, my spirituality, my hope, all of that. Blindfolds off. Truth is a truth. And then the Knight of Pentacles says, it's my time to come in. This Knight of Pentacles is a lesson in patience. But I often feel the universe many times is being patient with us. Why? Because again, I feel like for some of you, this could have been a free will decision. And I don't want you to beat yourself up. I just want you to learn what like the best thing you can do in that energy is learn what you can learn from it. I do feel like I want to say like someone took your power, but I feel more like we gave it away. Probably has something to do with self-esteem, when that happens. However, again, I feel like you come to this realization. The sun is working. It's illuminating everything for you. And then the Knight of Pentacles comes at the right time. Not before, not after. What's it coming over, by the way? The High Priestess and the Sun. And he's looking right at the Hermit, and the Hermit's looking right at the Knight. So this Knight is meant to bring you in a pentacle. And this pentacle is really meant to change your life. I feel it starts as a seed. And I feel that because I feel like it's our nurturing of that seed that's really going to determine how it's going to turn out. Like think of your own garden. Like I plant seeds. If I don't water them, if I don't make sure they're getting enough sun, well, then they're never going to blossom. They're going to dry up and die. Well, Knight of Pentacles doesn't want that to happen. They want you to take this to full fruition. All right. Six of Swords, leaving that toxicity behind. And look at that, the Four of Wands, and then the King of Wands, but in the upright. Sometimes I think only one person is right for me. There's only one person I want in my life. But that's because you haven't met this other person yet. That's why. Sometimes I feel like my life is over. This is just how it's going to be. But that's not true. Because if you're willing to, again, take blindfolds off, be truthful with yourself, even if it hurts, you'll overcome it. I know you'll overcome it. Sometimes I give the title to the wrong person, and therefore I feel that my job is to stay and figure this out, but they're not figuring it out. So you are an angel. I mean, hello. The top of the top comes out, besides God, comes out and says, I'm giving you something new. I'm changing your life. And all I need you to do is be willing to walk away from anyone or anything that has become toxic to you. Knight of Pentacles doesn't say that it's all going to be easy peasy. Six of Swords says there is a little bit of choppy waters, but it is the promise of calmer waters. And then what's the Six of Swords moving right to? The Four of Wands. So it's interesting where here's the marriage card here, or the commitment card, but nothing seemed to work out with this. Well, here's another one. And it's all in connection with divine energy. Kind of feels night and day, to be honest. The Queen in reverse here, the King in the upright here. Now, can be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We have a lot of Leo on the board, I have to tell you. We do have a lot of Leo on the board. We have a lot of Virgo on the board. But we have a lot of people on the board. So beyond that, just forget the signs again. I know I keep telling you that, but I do want you to forget the signs. I just want to go right below, see if there's anything else that wants to come out. I feel like, first of all, this is saying the rest of this year is really meant for you to reflect upon how you want your life to look and to understand that nothing is impossible. It's only because we think something is impossible that therefore it seems impossible. It's like every invention in the world seemed impossible until someone invented it. All right. I'm just going to go right below any other messages. I ask that you please come out now. Knight of Wands. Passion, desire, rush of energy, a rush of passion. Five of Pentacles under the Six of Swords. And then the Page of Swords under this Four of Wands. Interesting. Some of you may be changing location, and you just might be finding the love of your life in this new location. Some of you are just changing positions, if that makes sense. And with I feel like this Five of Pentacles, I don't feel like it's you. I feel like this is you saying to another, done. And then moving on from that, the Six of Swords, how long before this next Four of Wands, it's right next to it. How long before that comes in? I guess it really depends on us, right? We have to allow ourselves to heal. And, but sometimes I say we have to allow ourselves to heal, but sometimes just having realization, just being completely honest with ourselves, sometimes we don't need to heal. Sometimes we just need to move out of the energy that we're currently in. And it's interesting because I feel like someone else is also paying attention. And it may be on a spiritual level, but I do feel like someone else is paying attention. And I feel like this is what this page is talking about, like communication that then comes in, but it's coming after the change, after the change. I feel this often also where like some of us are changing like our not me but like changing our status on our social media from like married or coupled or in a relation to single. you know and there may be someone else who is like, okay, well, that's my opportunity. I just want to take one right over them. King of Pentacles, two kings here. Let's speak about these kings real quick. And then I'm going to let it be, though I am going to read from the book for some of these cards. But let's speak about these two kings because I think it's important we understand their energy. We understand the Queen of Wands in reverse means that there's non action, right? But that non action is just because, again, she hasn't taken that blindfold off yet. She hasn't cut the ties. But I do feel like she's going to because the sun is here twice. Everything is going to be illuminated. Now, it is, again, your free will decision, but it is showing me that many of you are going to take heed and start moving and just understanding that you deserve so much more in your life. So, the King of Wands, King of Action, Passion, Desire. The King of Pentacles, both in the upright, by the way. King of Pentacles to me in the upright is loyalty, is someone who's grounded, is someone who has worked on their material world. I feel like the King of Pentacles would not, and remember, we saw the Queen of Pentacles in the very beginning of the reading. I feel like the King of Pentacles could not feel satisfied in their life if their, let's just say, their material world, or I guess that's the word I want to use, if they're not feeling grounded. If I'm like lost without a job, then this king doesn't feel good. But he's in the upright. And by the way, Knight of Wands mirroring that energy. So rush of passion. And then the King of Wands. This is someone who does take action. This is someone who, I feel like is going to put action behind their words. I don't know, guys. I think I'm gonna leave it there. It's like we went from night to day, but that's a good thing. It's better than going from day to night. We see the night. It's dark, but it can change, and we can move into the light. Definitely, we can move into the light. Okay, I'm not gonna over clarify. I'm gonna let that be. But I do, I want to remind you, like, I feel like as it relates to work, this is beautiful energy of creation and abundance. As it relates to love, I feel like, again, I may have given someone the wrong title, and that's okay. Forgive yourself. Just forgive yourself. That's it. Forgive yourself because no one else is holding judgment over you. This person might be, but, like they have, I mean, who the hell are they? But as your spiritual team is, they're not holding judgment. They only want the best for you. So I feel like if you're able to get through this energy, which you are, then you just may find the love of your life. Now, it's hard to believe until it happens. Okay, let's let that be. Let's read marriage. Marriage. You drew this card because your relationship needs loving attention. You've been out of balance lately, with too much focus upon work and intellectual pursuits. Mother Mary steps in and asks you to stop what you're doing and put your energy into your marriage. In fact, make a renewed commitment to it in all of your interpersonal relationships. Allow yourself to care about and connect with each person you love. For unmarried individuals, this card signals a positive and an important change in your love life, provided that you open your heart and allow yourself to be authentic and vulnerable with others. Commit to deepening your relationships at the highest possible level so that they are truly love filled. Now, I feel like for the majority of you, the last part of the message was for you. And for those who are married folks, again, I'm not saying that this marriage cannot be saved, but it takes two. It takes two, baby. So we'll let that be. Um, I think I'm going to read acceptance from Archangel Raphael. I don't ever remember getting that card, so I'm curious myself. It's funny, it's right next to ask your body for a message. All right. Oh, nope. I'm still on the wrong page. Acceptance. Archangel Raphael is helping you find peace within an unsettling situation. So he sends you this card. Acceptance doesn't mean that you desire or like what's going on, but it does mean that you're willing to come to peace with it. God and the angels hear your prayers for a healing resolution. They're now asking you to surrender the entire situation to them through the process of acceptance. This is similar to going with the flow and trusting that everything is working out exactly as it's supposed to. This isn't a time to resist or force anything. Speak your mind open and honestly. Yet at the same time, find that balance of grace and acceptance. Possible specific meanings. The angels are working behind the scenes in answer to your prayers. Hang in there as things are improving. Keep giving your worries to God. An unforeseen possible event is on the horizon. Expect a miracle as one is here for you. Okay. I'm going to let it there, guys. As always, I thank you. I thank you for everything you do for the channel. I thank you for your donations, keeping the channel alive. I thank you for for subscribing. I thank you for being with me for a while. I thank you for sharing. I thank you for your comments, and I really thank you for helping others within your comments because there's a lot of heavy energy. But boy, night and day. Night and day. I love you guys. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.